Steven was 20 years old when he met Amanda, a girl of 18 years old. She was very beautiful. She immediately attracted the guy, but she was in love with another guy. Steven could not help thinking about her, but he was just her friend. He thought that he would never be with her. A few years later, he found out that Amanda broke up with her boyfriend and thought this was a great chance to become her date because she was alone. He always respected her feelings, although he knew that her boyfriend had cheated on her. I remember how she cried because of their breakup. It was very sad to see her crying. Several weeks later, she became better and she seemed to forget him. It was difficult for her to cope with this situation. One day, I decided to tell her about my feelings. I came to her home and told her everything. I was afraid that she would reject me, but she immediately said yes. It was the happiest day of my life. I remember this day. I could not believe my happiness. From that moment, I did everything to make her happy. Steven was very generous and careful. He did everything for his girlfriend. He always gave her gifts. No matter how much she wanted, he fulfilled all her requests. He even bought plane tickets for her parents to get to know him. The girl said that she would always be with him. The couple seemed to love each other forever. Several months later, Steven made a proposal to her. Amanda agreed. They chose the date of their wedding, and soon this day came. Steven was very happy. He told all his friends and relatives about their plans. Their parents came to help with the preparations, but something happened. A week before the wedding, Amanda's behavior changed. I asked her if everything was all right. She replied that it was only my imagination and nothing was happening, says Steven. I decided that she was just excited about the coming wedding. Finally, the wedding day came. I put on my best suit that was very expensive. My father gave it to me. My mother was very excited. My father was proud that his son was getting married. All my relatives came to congratulate me because it was such an important day for me. Everyone was expecting my bride's arrival. I wanted to see her in a wedding dress very much, but she was not coming. After a few minutes in the distance, I saw a car that was supposed to bring her. All guests began applauding. Finally, the very moment, the bride must have arrived. When the car arrived, it turned out that there was only a driver inside. The cab was empty. I was shocked. I could not understand what was happening. The driver gave me an envelope. It said, "Forgive me." It was like a nightmare. It could not be a reality. The letter almost killed me. She wrote that she was still in love with her ex-boyfriend and recently he had returned to her life. She did not have enough courage to tell me this. She wrote that she could not marry anyone except him. Everyone felt sorry for me. The guests realized that she left me and there would be no wedding. I watched everyone leaving. I was in despair. I did not understand what I had done wrong that she left me on such a day. Why did she wait so much time to tell me she did not want to be together? My parents hugged me. I was crying and shouting that this could not have happened. My suit was wet from tears. I rushed to her house. She was there. I asked, why? How could it happen? The fact that the day before I had been the happiest man in the world and at that moment I was completely broken made me suffer even more. I'd been going to become a faithful husband. I had done everything to make her happy, but everything was destroyed. I went on a trip with my parents. I could not even hear about the place that made me so unhappy. 3 years later, an unexpected thing happened. I was sitting in my armchair and reading when the doorbell rang. It was midnight. I did not know who it could be. I opened the door and I was very surprised. Amanda was standing in front of me. She returned to say that she loved me. She asked me to return to her. I tried to understand whether it was a dream or reality. I had to admit that I still loved her and even let her in. She said that she had been thinking about me all the time and she broke up with her ex-boyfriend because he deceived her again. She wanted to marry me and said that everything would be as I wanted. And you know what? I agreed. We chose the date of our wedding. This time I insisted that it would be a very simple ceremony. She chose the time and place. I knew that her parents would come again, as well as her friends. Steven also invited his friends. The wedding day came. Everyone was ready for the ceremony. Amanda arrived first. This time she was looking forward to see her groom, who was not coming. Finally, a car arrived and the driver gave her a letter. She smiled, thinking that Steven was preparing a surprise for her. When she opened the letter, she could not hold back her tears. It said, "You come to my house as if nothing had happened, want to marry me? You say that you love me, but just at the moment when your ex-boyfriend has left you once again? You come the moment I am trying to cope with the pain you brought me. After those terrible years during which I had been waiting for your call, I thought you would come and say that you had made a mistake, but you never called. I cried every day. My relationship with you broke. Now you are crying, aren't you? Now you know how I was feeling. Do not look for me. Do not call. I remind you of your own words. You told me that you would not marry anyone except your ex-boyfriend. So go and look for him and leave me alone. I do not exist for you anymore. Now you know from your own experience how much you made me suffer." This is a very sad story, but some people deserve such a lesson for playing with other people's feelings. In life, everything comes back, so never do to others what you would not want for yourself. Sooner or later, you can regret it.